Screenshots just dropped in the official Rise of Kingdoms YouTube channel in both English and in Vietnamese, and there is a lot to take away here. That some of it was mentioned in the patch notes, but as you see on the screen, there is a new event that definitely was not mentioned, and we've got some pictures of it. So stick around in this video for everything that was shown about the patch that's landing on the 7th. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and this video is sponsored by the makers of Rise of Kingdoms, and let's start with the 7k gem event. This is, the best holiday event that we typically get. Hopefully you've been saving up your gems so you can drop 7k right over here, and if you need to panic farm some gems because you don't have any, I'll also put a card up in the top. You can watch it later for my gem farming video guide. With that said, the 7k gem event has to be some of the absolute very best gem spending value in the game, where if you combined your gem spending with AP spending, you can pull down in the realm of, 25, 35 legendary commander sculptures and get your gems back just from these rewards, which is really amazing. So plan to spend your gems on this and to burn through AP as needed to get these rewards. With regard to the city theme that you can get, there is a choice chest, and I like that they're doing the choice chests since they're revisiting the old city themes. Now, I kind of would like to see new themes, of course, but I also do want to call out here that the themes they've chosen, Cupid's Arrow and Gingerbread House, are actually extremely good. It's apparently in the infantry holiday, because I'll show you these city themes are all infantry, but maybe something that I like that I don't recall they're doing before is they've upped the gem value, I think, on what you get if you already have the city theme, and it's another 2,000 gems back, which is pretty cool. So if you pick a city theme you already have, then you get 2,000 gems. So which city theme should you pick? Cupid's Arrow, Gingerbread House, or the Fireworks City? Cupid's Arrow is an old Valentine's theme, and it is a strong theme if you specialize in infantry. You gain 5% infantry health, but it does come with a steep cost, 5% cavalry health. Now, if you didn't have a health theme, I'd say this is a pretty solid one, except you may recognize the Gingerbread House as the other choice that was listed, which, by the way, is the city theme I actively use on my restart account. The Gingerbread theme gives you 5% infantry health, same upside, with a much better downside. You lose 5% archer attack. I think this has to be the best city theme choice in the lot here. There is one other infantry city theme, as I mentioned. It's Fireworks City, and I actually don't even know if I own a permanent version of this one, because I was kind of like, oh yeah, I guess I do. Okay, Fireworks City. 5% infantry attack at the cost of cavalry attack. You can see why I would say that the Gingerbread House is the superior city theme to go pick up, because health is generally the preferred stat, and I'll have a card up in the top for that video. I know I mention it a lot, but if you haven't seen it, you would want to know that health is a preferred stat and why that's the case. So I think you go with the Gingerbread city theme if you need infantry health, and if you don't think you would ever need that for any reason, then I suppose you turn it in for 2,000 gems and call it a day. Pick one of the themes you already have in order to do that, assuming you have one of these other themes. There is also a decoration choice chest. I would just look at this in terms of the achievements that are available. I think there's achievement points for each of these. If you really wanted the achievement points, I guess you could go for it. Otherwise, if you already have a decoration, you just turn it in for the 200 gems and call it a day. There's really not enough room for all the decorations that you can get in the game anyways. So let's talk about the iconic crystals. There are 3 more iconic crystals that they're adding to Season of Conquest KvKs, making it so that now you can get a grand total of 5 iconic crystals. Now, I'm on board with the 5 iconic crystals. I was hoping to see exactly how you unlock them, but I only found a screenshot of one of the extra 3 iconic crystals you can get, and that is for pulling down 3 million Sev wounded troops. This is a new either addition, I think it's an addition to the Faith achievement, Faith 6. So you get 3 million kills. That is extremely doable. Extremely doable. So this is a very, very unlockable iconic crystal. I don't know how the other 2 will be, but I can only assume they will be more difficult than this, because this should be basically free for almost anybody who's really trying to participate in the KvK. No offense, if you get lower than 3 million kills in a KvK, you aren't field fighting, which means something's going on there. We got to work on your account. They did briefly showcase the changes to the new power-up version of KvK with the peaceful and aggressive mode by March, so that now instead of setting what all your marches do, you can actually have each march behave differently. You know, I have to say this test account really does have everything a growing account would need. 100,000 food, 100,000 wood, 50,000 stone, 10,000 gold, and 99,999,999 gems. It is funny, they must have made like these accounts from scratch and had to kind of like power them up to showcase the stuff in the video, because they're sitting at 37,532,000 power. Maybe that is actually the bare minimum, like no troops max tech. I think that might be what your power is. I know that it's actually shocking how low your power could be to unlock T5s. They also changed the way that the marker works for showing where you're about to drag and drop your march to, which I think is kind of cool. Every now and then, especially if you're on a mobile phone, you kind of have to like move your hand around to double check exactly what you're targeting. And so it looks like they've added sort of a long stem to the pin that shows where it is that you're about to target. Looks like they also have very creatively named this account subscribe and like. So if you're enjoying the video, allow me to take this moment to remind you to throw a like on the video. It supports the channel 100% free to play, and to consider subscribing for daily Rise of Kingdoms videos designed to help you get value and smash your enemies. Also, while we're here, can I just point out, what is that icon all the way in the upper right? What am I looking at there? What is this an icon for? Is that a new icon for Heroic Anthem Power Up KvK? I thought that's what the crossed swords were for. In addition, you now can share war information into your alliance chat. Now, I didn't know what war information means, but it's literally if you go into your alliance menu and you go into the war section where it shows your rallies, you can see there's a little share button right next to this. In this case, it's a barb fort, and you can share the location. So now you can share, I suppose, the link for a rally into the alliance chat, which it'd be kind of cool if you could join the rally then from the alliance chat. But this does seem like a way to draw more attention to the fact that you're rallying something. I'll just say though, like maybe I am flawed because I need to be in voice and I need people to say like rally up for me to really pay attention because I'm often field fighting. Maybe that's my flaw, but I feel like I love that they're adding in-game communication, but I feel like I don't know what they could do to actually replace external additional communication when you're actually trying to do multiple things at once. It's just, unless you're sitting there looking for rallies, it's going to be very hard to see. So maybe this will address that. But I really like that they've added a new filter by power. This might not seem like a big deal, but you're almost certainly going to want to filter your commanders by power so that you can have all the commanders that have equipment on them bubble up to the top. And then you can move around equipment from those commanders, like take all the equipment off and then put it onto a commander that you would actually want to have it on when you're switching things around. I know that on literally every one of my accounts that I fight with, I have a Canyon set, and then I also have a KvK set where, you know, I've got things like march speed accessories, etc., that I might not put into Canyon, just for example, but I definitely want when I'm fighting in KvK. And I'll have my frontline units have more tankiness that I might normally distribute the gear. You get the idea. I also found it kind of funny, you know, I switched gears and I went to the Vietnamese video. Like, they blurred out the name of this governor, like, you know, they're in witness protection. We've got to protect this governor's identity. Gosh forbid that somebody sends, I don't know, how would you send a message to a governor on a test server? I don't think it can be done. However, this is probably what you want me to be talking about. New event. I don't know how this event works. It's clear to me that you get some amount of currency. You use that currency to get attempts, almost like the Hunt for History, right? The dig event where you use hammers. You've got a currency you need to get attempts to get loot from here. The premium loot is the legendary material. And I am glad to see more ways to get materials in the game. I'd love to see a little, you know, replacement for Esmeralda, perhaps. And there actually is something very important here that I want to show you. Besides the fact that this has the entire loot table for this particular round. And I think that says round 1 up top. That number is going to change for future rounds. But I want you to see this says 0.0%. It's hard to see in this picture. It'll be easier in the next one because when you go through this, it flips over all the cards. And then you pick cards to go and do, or you can select auto and the game will go and smash open cards for you. And as you do that, it increases the percentage for whatever this chalice is off to the side. And I also grabbed a picture here of them saying like, oh, you need more gems, or I guess you need more of this currency rather to sort of continue. I think that's what it's saying over there. And also you can crit whatever is going on in this chalice. So it goes up by 0.5%, but in this case, they got a 3x, 1.5%, right? And so here's the gem spending portion of this event. If you wanted, you can get these coins for 400 gems a pop. Now, we'll have to really see exactly how the event works before I really assess the value of, like, spend your gems on this. I assume that there will be a way to get a bunch of this currency free to play, just like with the dig event. So I don't think you'll be left with no way to get this currency at all if you're not spending. I also would very much expect that in addition to being able to spend gems, that you probably can spend cash to go and pick up some amount of this currency to play your way through this event, because I don't see a limit on the number of floors. And I wonder, like, does doing more floors increase the quality of your loot table? I actually don't know. There was not a lot of information shown about this particular event. In fact, normally they'll sometimes show you the event information, but that was not the case. So I don't even have that in Vietnamese to translate. However, after each round, it seemed to highlight some number of the selections here. And you can see that Chalice is up to 14%. So whatever's going on here, it's on its way up, and you can see the amount of the currency they have to play the event down over here. So when I plug this into Google Lens, you got it, dude, you gotta love this. It says find rare treasure to get the rest of the treasures on this level. So I don't know if you find these particular items, you get everything else automatically. So that seems to be the way perhaps that this event goes, is if you get the chase items, the rest of the items are given to you. I had one more picture of the same sort of a thing, but a different round. It looks like this is the same translation here. Find a rare treasure to get the rest of the treasures of this level. I guess we'll have to see the exact rules to unpack how it works entirely. You can see we're up to 27% now. I don't know what this is a percentage for, but I'm like really intrigued. I want to know. We've got a race against time around the corner during the holiday events, and the reward for that is 20 legendary commander sculptures if you can get first. It is really nice to be able to pick up some legendary commander sculptures if you can. I feel like that's achievable in smaller kingdoms and really difficult in large kingdoms because it's very competitive. But on the topic of competitive, what a segue. Will Thutmose be a competitive commander? And in the Vietnamese version of the patch notes, they shared the update for the relic on Thutmose. And that is 15% attack and 15% health. So let's go get a look at Thutmose's full kit to see if he will be viable as a Season of Conquest commander. The real problem is that the damage factor is just way too low on Thutmose. Let's be real. 1,000 damage factor is not enough. And it's AoE, but deals up damage factor up to 3 targets in a forward-facing fan-shaped area. Damage dealt to each target is reduced by 15% for each additional target. And they have 30% reduced healing. Like, nobody cares. Really, genuinely, nobody cares, okay? So I think there's a bit of a miss here on his ability to be a good Season of Conquest commander, in part because this effect is just not really relevant. I mean, I know you could, like, stop the healing maybe of a Boudica Prime, assuming she doesn't just clear that debuff off of herself. I don't actually know. We'll see that interaction at some point. I guess you could see it now if you really wanted to, but 1,000 damage factor is too low. But the rest of his kit is actually really good, which is why it's a little bit of a bummer. So 15% attack, 10% march speed, and when you're outside of Alliance territory, 15% all damage. Like, that's a monster second skill. Third skill is also strong. Archer defense of 10% when you're on the map, and 10% chance of inflicting a debuff, causing the target to take 15% more skill damage taken. That's actually a wicked debuff. All this is pretty good so far, with the exception of the active skill. Then, troops led by this commander take 10% less counterattack, and you have an instant proc. I mean, I actually like everything in his kit. He's got March speed, he's got instant proc damage, he's got debuffs. The only problem is the damage factor is too low. If you add 15% attack and 15% health on top of this, I still don't think you quite have enough to get the job done here. And then after using an active skill, Troop Steal, 30% more normal attack damage for 3 seconds. I mean, I think he'll be very similar to kind of El Cid, who is an archer commander, who's like not quite good enough to really make the cut. But if you did invest in him before the Season of Conquest, for some reason, mostly this would apply to, I guess, whales, and you did have him maxed out, I will say the extra 15% of stats, 15% attack and 15% health, will make him usable until you get some better options. And then, you know, like, what are the better options? I still kind of feel like you're better off with just, like, Nebu, right? He's got 1,500 AoE damage factor and does 2,000 damage factor to the main target. I just wouldn't underestimate how insane double the damage factor is to the main thing you hit. That is a lot of extra damage. So I think Thutmose will be solid, and it'll be just at the edge of viable, but not there. At least not in the meta of the best commanders. And that is a really, really tall order to be competing with a commander like Boudica Prime. I'm planning to open an absolutely ridiculous amount of gold keys here, so once the patch lands and I confirm that Thutmose is in the gold key, and he is supposed to be in the gold keys the moment that the patch has landed. But check first before you open your gold keys, okay? Once he's in there, I'm going to rip open. I got 3,000 keys over here. I'll probably do 4,000 keys on my farm. I got like 900 to 1,000 keys on my restart. We're going to rip them all open. We'll see what we get. So subscribe so you don't miss that happening. And if you want that explanation of why health is one of the better stats in the game, again, the card is up in the top for that detailed video. You're not going to want to miss it. And if you need to start panic farming gems, I've got a video for that. The card is also up in the top. You're going to want to check that out. And for those of you that have seen those videos before and you're like, whatever, bro, give me something juicier, then check out this gold key opening video. The last time the new commander, it must have been Ragnar, dropped into the gold keys, and you can see what happened when I ripped open a ridiculous amount of gold keys. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts on the new events, how that new material-related event might work. I'm definitely intrigued. I am happy to see a new event show up. Hopefully a lot of that currency will be available free to play. You can farm it up somehow, will be nice. But I would expect, like, there's probably some number of attempts you get, like the hammers, 30 of them or whatever, for the dig event. Very similar to that would be my guess. Until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.